expressed in the following program are not necessarily those of the Rice Radio Networks.
Good evening. This is State Chan David Albert with None of Your Business News. This is None of Your Business. And now, it's Chris with his comments on President Bush.
Bush has been screwing up the world as much as he wanted. He's been going into Iraq and trying to kill them, which is more than understandable considering they did blow up our World Trade Centers. But he's also using September 11th as an excuse to take out Saddam Hussein, and he shouldn't be allowed to do that. I mean, he hasn't done it to us for about 11 years. He hasn't... I've even heard of him for about 10. I mean, he hasn't done anything to hurt us, and we're going in there trying to assassinate him. Note the trying. Humanity is screwing the world up as much as possible. Americans have the right to screw up the world, and we don't need some jackass president in the White House to do that for us. We're Americans. We're damned if somebody else can screw up the world better than us. We've got an entire constitution built on screwing up the world. We don't need some jackass guy in the White House with a big ass and chokes on pretzels to screw up the world. We've got everything we need right here. We got the plastic handguns, the bad hats, and the really incompetent people, and we don't need anything else. Humanity has been screwing up the world, and we don't need stupid-ass President Bush. And
you anti-Bush, you trying to ruin the world?
Don't point your plastic handguns at me, bastard!
I'll take you down with my plastic handgun! Ah!
Okay, yeah, I'm just
Well, I am here on the plane on the way to Atlanta, Georgia. As it turns out, we're actually going to Georgia, then we're changing planes there and heading into Massachusetts. This is the airport in Georgia. Greenfield, Massachusetts. It was an ordinary little town, like any other, with perfectly ordinary things going on, just like any ordinary place, anywhere in New England. The kind of place you'd never expect to have some kind of involvement with a secretive, evil cult. So I decided not to bother with this place since it seemed perfectly fine. So, that's when I arrived at the Yankee Candle Home. And so, I found myself in a very mysterious place. A place of bedroom displays and candles. And home and garden books. Good God. I then arrived at this antique emporium. They had a good diner there. Made some really good crepes. Anyway, I decided at this place I would go in for some questioning. I asked these fine people about the Bushites, but they didn't really seem to know anything about them. Well, I find myself at the top of Mount Washington in New Hampshire. Yes, for the sake of inconspicuosity, a phrase that I'm sure our president has come across. I'm wearing a hood instead of my hat, which, as you would notice, is a very rare moment. Anyway, I've come across this W, really. And it's pointing that way. Of course, I found corresponding letters. One is N, the other's E, and the other is S. I don't know whose middle initials those are, but I know that this has something to do with W. And I'm gonna find out, no matter what it takes. Well, I'm here in what appears to be the transmitting station for the Bushites in New Hampshire. They've got a really impressive tower thingy with lots of wires and stuff. It's pretty sinister, especially with all the rust and stuff. Well, I don't know what's going on, but knowing from my past experience, I'll figure it out with the utmost grace and suaveness. I think I may have stumbled across some kind of conspiracy. These men are working on train tracks, and the trains are coming up. That means that something is going to happen. And if it'll be bad, that wouldn't be good. I don't know where I'm going with this, but I think something's afoot. Or a hand. whatever it might be, this looks dangerous. Well, luckily, nothing actually became of that whole train track incident, and everybody's fine. I arrive here at this dam that I have just recently gone through great lengths to have emptied. Of course, they didn't empty it all the way, but at least I have it emptied this much. And thusly I have before me a dazzling, mind-boggling menagerie of a variety of clues leading me to the Bushites. One of which is that tire, which could have been manufactured in Texas, a place that's well associated with George W. As well, that oil barrel. Oil is very well known for being found in Texas. Well, and this is the very worst part. A flock of Canadian geese that I saw arriving in the form of a flying W. All of this I'll make great note of, and bring it back to Paul Jameson in San Francisco, and so we can see what this adds up to, because it's got to be something big when it involves the Bushites. I must move on. Time is short. Being a detective is a tough job. Being out in a place you've never been before, all that kind of stuff. It's tough on a everyday Joe like me. So every once in a while I just need some time to sit back and unwind. I'm in a parking lot somewhere in Oakland. Yep. In front of a trailer that the Hertz company rents stuff from for this airport. It's divided with those semi-triangular white cement barricade thingies. The kind they put cyclone fence on top of for the dividing highways. Well, it's good to be back in the Bay Area. A point I can't stress enough. Not to put down anything back east. I'm just saying I like home. It's good to be back.